May I now request my colleague, Mr. Sam Ghosh, our CEO, to give us an update on the business activities of our company. Sam.
Thank you and good morning. Before I start, we have a small memento. This is a debit card which our asset management company has come out with. It's a unique debit card. Allows customers to withdraw funds from their mutual fund units from any ATM machine. We have 3 sample cards. We'd like Sandeep Sikka, our CEO for our asset management company, to come and present one of those cards to Mrs. Kokilabhai Ambani and one to Mrs. Tina Ambani. And we have also one card here for our chairman, Mr. Anil Ambani.
I hope, Sam, there is money in the account. Thank you. Thank you.
With that, I can start the presentation. This covers the performance of the business for the last financial year and a few pointers on what is our plans for the future. I think starting with Shri Dhirubhai Ambani's, late Shri Dhirubhai Ambani's statement, if you can dream it, you can do it. So for Reliance Capital, this is our motto, that we try and be as creative as possible, be as innovative as possible, and perform as well as possible. So with that, we have 3 areas which we'll cover on the highlights of the business, highlights for the last financial year rather, business performance, and the road ahead. Starting with the highlights, very quick overview. Today, Reliance Capital is the #1 NBFC with 2 crore customers, nearly 7,000 offices across India, 17,000 employees, and 1,50,000 business partners. This has all been achieved in just over 6 years. Moving forward, the company is in a very strong position today. If you look at the rating agencies, all of them have given us top-notch ratings, A1 plus from CRISIL, A1 plus from ICRA, and AAA from CARE. Net worth of Reliance Capital today is at 11,700 crores, makes us the largest NBFC in India today. And we are well capitalized to address future growth requirements and future opportunities. I think one of the biggest achievements in the last, since the last AGM was our tie-up with Nippon Life, both in our life insurance as well as in our general insurance, in our asset management business. Here we have shown a picture of Mr. Tsutsui, who is the president of Nippon Life, and Mr. Anil Ambani, our chairman, shaking hands. And this momentous occasion, one for the life insurance took place in October, and for the asset management took place in August of this financial year. A bit about Nippon Life. Who is Nippon Life? Today, they are the 5th largest life insurer in the world, #1 in Asia Pacific, as well as Japan. They manage over rupees 30 lakh crores. This is nearly 4 times the size of our mutual fund industry today. Largest AUM in the world for any life insurer. So significant player in the life insurance market in Japan and in a number of countries, as well as a large asset manager. And 123-year-old company, so it's not a new company, very, very traditional, very old, and has a long history of performance. Some of the comments which Mr. Tsutsui made to the newspapers in Japan as well as in India, and I'll read out a few of them. One relates to our chairman. Mr. Ambani is a very bright, sharp-minded person. He values the trustworthy relationship. I strongly feel that we are able to meet with the best partner that we can work with. And regarding Reliance Group has the strongest brand power in India. I am convinced that we can build a long-term partnership. So those are very kind words from Mr. Tsutsui. Regarding the 2 transactions with Nippon Life, the first one was with the life insurance side and Reliance Life. Nippon Life has acquired a 26% stake in Reliance Life Insurance. This was the largest FDI in the Indian financial services space. Nippon Life invested 3,000 crores in the life insurance company, as well as part of the secondary sale. And the deal valued the Reliance Life Insurance Company at 11,500 crores. Moving on to our asset management business, where Nippon has taken 26% stake in August 2012. This again is the largest investment in the AMC industry till date. Nippon Life has invested 1,450 crores. They have valued our asset management company at 5,600 crores. So under the tough business environment, under difficult circumstances which India has gone through, Nippon Life has had the faith not only to invest in India nearly 17,000 crores, but invest that in Reliance. Moving on, working together, obviously we want to share best practices between the two companies. So we have put down a few of the best practices on the life side, which has been shared between the two, between Nippon Life and Reliance Life to date. One area of we've learned a lot from our colleagues in Nippon Life is on customer service, how to handle customers, to invite customers to our branches, which was never done in the past. The life insurance branches normally had agents going out to customers. Today, customers are invited to our branches, and presentations are made to the customers on products, services, etc. The other area is product development. Nippon Life is very strong on the traditional products, and we have learned a lot on that front. And finally, on new distribution models, they have gone into a number of distribution models, direct selling, selling through lady agents, significant numbers of them. So we have tried to learn how to replicate that best practice. On the other hand, Nippon has also learned quite a lot about our company, from our company rather, how fast we are at getting any product to the market or putting out a new idea. We are very fast in the market, and they've tried to learn how do we do it so fast. We also have a low-cost outsourcing model for outsourcing some of our operations, and they've learned that from us so that they can go and implement the same in their operations. And the fact that we have a completely variable pay model for our agents, that is also something new for them, and they have tried to learn what best practices they can carry from that. So you can see that there is a large amount of sharing of information between the two companies, which will eventually benefit Reliance Life significantly. Moving on to some of the other achievements in this financial year. Reliance Money tied up with World Gold Council. This was an exclusive partnership with World Gold Council of India. Reliance Money has launched My Gold Plan. This is a plan where customers can invest on a monthly basis, 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees, etc., for a period of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and eventually they get physical gold at the end of that period. So it's like dollar cost averaging. It's averaging of purchase of gold at various points of time. Moving on, Reliance Life Insurance achieved its first full year of profits in the last financial year. This was in one of the shortest times possible. If you look at the life insurance industry, normally it takes about 7 to 10 years. Most of the companies have achieved profitability after 10 years. Our life company achieved that profitability within 7 years. So congratulations to them. Moving on, as for Reliance Capital today is well capitalized. All our businesses have been adequately capitalized. They do not require any further capital for business growth. So the company has adequate funds available to enter into new ventures, be it in banking, and also to look at reduction in consolidated debt levels. So that's our key focus going forward. Some of the awards and achievements in the last financial year for our asset management business: Best Fund House of 2011 by Money Life, Asia's 10 Best Employers. I think this is something to be proud of, that our employees, our company's policies in terms of looking after employees has been recognized. Some of the achievements by our life insurance business: top 3 most trusted brands in India. Again, something of great pride for us that we have been recognized amongst the top 3 most trusted brands. First life insurance company to be rated AAA by Brickworks. So again, another coveted award for us. Moving on to some of the numbers in terms of growth. If you look at number of customers, we have been able to grow as Reliance Capital from 6 lakh customers in 2005 to nearly 230 lakh customers in 2012, 38 times increase in numbers. In terms of total income, we have had 15 times growth in terms of income from 430 crores to nearly 6,600 crores in 2012. Total assets under management from 3,000 crores to nearly 35,000 crores, 12 times growth. Our net worth from 1,500 crores in 2005, today is 11,700 crores, 8 times growth in net income, in net worth. Coming to our ownership structure, if you look at that, it's 54% by promoter holding. That has remained stable and has not changed. 22% by foreign investors. Here, again, that shows the faith of foreign investors that they've remained with us. 22% was their last financial year, 22% shareholding remains with in this financial year. That shows under difficult market conditions, difficult circumstances worldwide, foreign investors have still had faith in Reliance Capital. In terms of retail investors, I'm proud and I'm happy that our retail shareholders have shown their confidence in us. Last year, 18% was held by retail shareholders. Today, it's 19%, so thank you very much. Today, we have approximately 12 lakh shareholders, one of the largest shareholder bases in India and in the world. Moving forward to our human capital, as from Reliance Capital perspective, nearly 17,000 employees, 11% are women. Obviously, we want to increase that number, and significant number of postgraduates. But the good thing is we have about nearly 80% of our employees are customer facing. So in terms of focus, that we want more and more people out on the field, and looking after customers has to be the key to go forward. Moving on to business performance. Now I'll go through 5 of our businesses, the large businesses of Reliance Capital. We'll start with the asset management business. The largest and most profitable asset manager in India. So congratulations to the team. That total assets under management today are 1,41,000 crores. And in terms of profitability, they're number 1. In terms of folios, we have increased our number of folios from 5 lakhs to 71 lakh folios, which shows the tremendous trust that retail customers have with Reliance, that they've kept their money with us during these turbulent times. In the last financial year, when the stock markets haven't performed, customers have still remained with us, and number of folios have actually remained more or less flat. Moving on to number of branches, the asset management company has nearly 250 branches and nearly 40,000 distributors. Recently, SEBI made an announcement regarding distribution after the 15 cities, top 15 cities, that they'll be giving higher commission, etc., higher fees for distributors. I think this will help Reliance Capital Asset Management significantly, that we have a distribution reach of over 250 branches into smaller towns where we'll be able to distribute our products now. And going forward, we can see exponential growth in our business. In terms of innovation, we launched the first gold fund in India in the last financial year. Today, we have a 28% market share in this space, nearly 2,600 crores of assets under management, 5 lakh investors, and people have invested for 3 years to 5 years, so we know that funds will continue coming in for the next 3 to 5 years from this large investor base. The second innovation, which we just covered at the beginning of the presentation, where we handed out the debit cards to our chairman and Mrs. Ambani, Mrs. Kokila Ambani and Mrs. Tina Ambani. This card was launched by us. We are the first company again to launch a debit card for customers to go and withdraw funds from ATMs. Moving on to our life insurance business. So we sold the largest number of policies in the private sector. Again, this shows great trust by retail customers, that today from nearly less than 0.4 lakh customers in 2005, today we have 11 lakh customers who bought policies from us in the last financial year. So tremendous trust from retail customers across all cities, and mainly in the tier 3, tier 4 type cities. Total premiums grown up from 107 crores to 5,500 crores since 2005. So nearly 52 times increase. Total funds under management nearly 104 times increase to about 18,800 crores, nearly 19,000 crores in 2012. In terms of branch network, we have about 1,230 branches, nearly 1,50,000 agents. This again gives us tremendous distribution reach, especially tier 3, tier 4 cities, where we know that life insurance growth will be exponential compared to the tier 1 and tier 2 cities. And we have a strong presence in these cities. And this will obviously help us tremendously, this distribution reach. Moving on to our next business, commercial finance. Here we focus on businessmen, self-employed people. So our main focus would be on loan against property, business loans, vehicle loans, and mortgages. Again, mortgages would also be focused primarily at the self-employed customer base. Assets under management, nearly 15,000 crores, and profit was nearly 250 crores for the last financial year. And we obviously expect significant growth. And to just take into account the fact that last year, interest rates went up significantly over the period of the year, yet we could achieve a profit as well as increase the profit compared to the previous financial year. Some more highlights about the business. If you look at 15,000 crores of assets under management in less than 5 years, 100% of the loan book is secured. This is a significant achievement. Very few commercial finance company, NBFCs today have a 100% secured loan book. Today we have that. Gross NPAs are 1.5%, amongst the lowest in the industry. Same way with our cost to income ratio, it's the lowest in the industry. So great achievement by the team. Obviously our focus being on SME type customers, we have 94,000 customers across 18 cities. Moving on to our broking and distribution business. Here we are a one-stop shop for financial products and services. We offer mutual funds, mutual fund distribution, life and general insurance, broking accounts, both equities and commodities, wealth management, gold coin distribution, money transfer, and IPO funding. So we try and cover everything as a one-stop shop for customers. We have nearly 7 lakh equity broking accounts and nearly 35,000 commodity broking accounts. Again, shows the significant trust that retail customers have had with us in such a short period of time, less than 4 years. So, and this also, if you again look at the conditions in the retail broking side, in the last financial year, large number of customers moved out of the system. Large number of customers were not trading, yet we managed to increase our equity broking accounts in that same financial year. Moving on to the other 2 areas of business where Reliance Money focuses. In terms of gold coin distribution, today we are amongst the top 2 gold coin retailers. We have tied up with India Post exclusively for gold coin distribution. We sold over 2.2 tons of gold, and these would be 5 grams, 8 grams, 10 gram pieces of gold. The second area where we are very strong is our money transfer business. We are the largest partner with Western Union on the private sector. We do nearly 7,500 transactions on a daily basis. So you can imagine the number of customers we're dealing with on a daily basis at large number of places, over 100 to 200 branches. Moving on to our general insurance business. Again, here our focus in the past was primarily on auto, means cars, and health insurance. Nearly 70% of our portfolio is on that front. Today we have tried to diversify a bit more towards commercial lines of business, being property, marine, specialty products. And this year we've increased our market share in that space, which is where we think that we should grow also, so that we have a balanced book of business. We have 150 branches in the general insurance company. Nearly 6,000 intermediaries work with us, and we want to increase that significantly going forward and increase our market share also. In terms of premium growth, nearly 10 times growth in premium since 2005 to 1,700 crores. In terms of number of policies, nearly 25 times growth, 26 lakh policies being sold. Again, very retail focused, targeting the mass market in smaller towns as well as in large cities. Yeah. So now looking at the road ahead, where do we want to go forward from here? Before we start that, just give a very quick macro overview, what's happening with India, and therefore what are the opportunities for a financial services company. So today still there's a healthy GDP growth rate, though it's come down, but still we are amongst the fastest growing nations in the world. In terms of increased per capita income, that's gone up, rising savings rates that have remained at greater than 32%, Today we have a young population base, 26.2 years, which means that they will have significant opportunities in the future to save, and that we should be able to capitalize on. So all this suggests, and obviously the infrastructure segment, there'll be huge investments we expect in the next 3 to 5 years. India needs that sort of investment. All this will help towards increasing the financial services sector, and we expect the financial services sector to grow exponentially. Looking at each of the sectors where our core businesses are, and where is the penetration levels. If you look at the mutual fund sector, India today as mutual AUMs as a percentage of GDP, India today is amongst the lowest in the world at 8%. Other countries, if you look at from the US, 67, even some of the developing countries like Brazil is at 30%, while India is at 8%. So we expect significant growth in mutual fund area, and this is one of our core businesses. If you look at life insurance, again, India's premium as a percentage of GDP, India is at 4%, compared to some of the developing and developed countries. We are significantly lower, so again, we know that there will be significant growth opportunities in this front, and we should be able to capitalize on that opportunity. Looking at mortgage loans as part of the NBFC business, again here, mortgage penetration as a percentage of GDP, India is amongst the lowest in the world, nearly at 9%. And if you look at from developed countries at 85%, India is nowhere in that segment. So we know that there will be exponential growth here. And finally, on the equity markets for a broking company, Reliance Money and our Reliance Securities. Again, India is amongst the lowest in terms of, if you look at share of stocks in household financial assets, India is at 5%, developing countries at about 6-7%, and developed countries at about 24% in that range. So here again, we expect significant growth going forward. So what do we need to do to be able to achieve this growth rate in the future? We need to have significant growth in distribution. So one area focus for us going forward will be, we have today 5,000 distributors. Can we go to about 25,000 distributors in the next 5 years? We need significant number of business partners to reach customers. So we have 5 lakh business partners today. We want to get to 10 lakh business partners. And that will help us get increased customer base. So customer base, we have said we've got 2 crores today. We want to get to 5 crores. But if we can achieve the distribution reach and business partners, we'll certainly be able to achieve the customer numbers, and therefore obviously increased volume of business as well as profitability. Other growth opportunities for us, where we are fairly small today in the wealth management space, investment banking space. These are the areas where today we have a negligible presence, but we know that there'll be huge opportunities, and we should be able to grow in these spaces. We'll focus on the SME type customer base here. And we know that the SME customer itself is growing, SME customer base itself is growing significantly, so we'll be able to tap that opportunity. Distribution will always remain key, which I mentioned in the previous slide. Private equity, again, India, private equity funds have come over, mainly international private equity funds. Indian domestic private equity funds, they're very few and far between. So we know that we can grow in this space. So we have a small private equity fund today, and we want to grow that. In asset management, today we're the largest asset manager in India. Can we move into the emerging markets and also replicate our growth story? And finally, the biggest area for us, the biggest opportunity for a financial services company like us, which is in every space in the financial service sector, is banking. We are obviously awaiting final regulatory guidelines there. Good thing is the company has sufficient capital available to deploy into this segment. I'll just move into a couple of more slides. This is our CSR initiative, the Kokilaben Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital, where it's one of the largest and most technically advanced hospitals where we invest in, which we support also, and where we use as our biggest CSR initiative. So few slides on this. In the last 3 years, we've served over 2 million customers, 2 million patients rather, and because it's a multi-speciality hospital, we have patients from all areas. Nearly 750 beds, so our infrastructure is one of the largest and one of the best in the country. Moving on to technology, in terms of technology again, we are at the top end of technology, and we've got some of the best equipment, best services, and best of doctors available in this hospital of ours. And finally, in terms of talent, the doctors and specialists who are in this hospital are some of the best in the globe. So universally, some of the top-rate surgeons and doctors work in this hospital. So our aim is here to serve our community and to ensure that we can reach the masses so that we can serve them to the best of our ability. And with that, I'd like to thank you very much, and I'd like to thank our shareholders. I'd like to thank our shareholders, our board of directors, and our chairman for all their guidance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. I now move the ordinary resolution